Have you ever stopped to think about how the screens around us are changing so fast?
Oh, absolutely, especially in cars, right?
Exactly. Your car's dashboard, it's not just dials anymore. One minute it's navigation, the next it shows, how your EV's energy is flowing.
Or think about factories, those control panels adapting instantly.
That's it. That's the power of the global programmable dashboard market. And that's what we're diving into today.
Sounds good.
Our goal here is pretty simple. Cut through the noise, get the key insights, the surprising facts from the research we've got. This comes mainly from cognitive market research.
Good source.
And the numbers themselves, they really tell a story. Just look at the global market size back in 2021. It was already an impressive $941.07 million.
Yeah, that's a solid base.
Yeah.
But what's really striking, I think, is where it's headed.
Right.
It's projected to hit $640.3 million by 2025. That's nearly double.
Wow.
And then it just keeps climbing. We're talking an astounding $112.1 million by 2033.
That's huge growth.
It is. It reflects a really robust compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 13.5%.
Okay.
And like you said, it's not just one thing. This isn't only cars. It spans automotive, but also industrial, even consumer electronics. It's a fundamental change, really.
So where are the big growth engines? Let's maybe start with North America. Seems like a key player.
Definitely. North America is pivotal. Its share is consistently large.
Okay.
So back in 2021, it was already over $1 billion, a $1,079.85 million to be precise.
Right.
By 2025, that's projected to be about $1.78 billion. And looking out to 2033, we're talking $4.8 billion. Almost $4.83 billion.
And what's driving that specifically in North America?
Well, it seems to be a mix. A lot of cutting-edge automotive tech adoption for sure. Think EVs, autonomous features, and also the big push towards smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0 type stuff.
Makes sense. And within the region, the U.S. is the heavyweight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The United States started at nearly $900 million in 2021, $894.12 million. And it's projected to reach almost $4 billion by 2033. $972.82 million. It's leading the charge.
What about Canada?
Canada's showing solid growth, too. $138 million in 2021, heading towards almost $600 million by 2033, $598.58 million.
Still significant.
Definitely. But here's a really interesting point, Mexico.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it actually shows the fastest growth rate in North America. Started smaller, obviously, $47.5 million in 2021.
Right. Much smaller base.
Exactly. But it's projected to jump to $255.84 million by 2033. That acceleration is pretty remarkable. Could signal shifts in manufacturing or policy.
An interesting dynamic. Okay, let's shift continents. How about Europe? You mentioned another thriving market there.
Yes, Europe is another major player. Consistently strong adoption.
So what are the numbers looking like there?
Europe generated close to $900 million in 2021, $894.62 million.
Okay.
And it's also projected to grow substantially. The forecast anticipates it hitting over $4 billion by 2033. $20.3 million.
Similar scale to North America by then.
Pretty close, yeah. And you can see why. Europe's got that strong industrial heritage, a big focus on automotive innovation, and a real push for digital manufacturing across the board.
And the key countries. Let's look at the UK first.
The UK is on a solid trajectory. $136.88 million in 2021.
Okay.
Projected to reach about $591 million by 2033. $590.98 million. Steady growth.
And Germany, I imagine they're significant.
Absolutely. Germany shows very consistent, strong demand.
Yeah.
Started at $175.35 million in 2021.
Right.
And projected to hit over $760 million by 2033. $763.86 million.
Makes sense with their auto industry.
Exactly. But it's not just them. France is also strong, looking at nearly $500 million by 2033, $494.50 million. Italy around $390 million, $389.97 million.
Okay.
Even Russia is showing strong adoption, projected around $374 million, $373.96 million.
So widespread across the major economies.
Very much so. And it's worth noting, even smaller, highly developed nations, Switzerland, Denmark, Luxembourg, they're all part of this digitization wave too. It's really continent-wide.
Okay, now, you mentioned explosive growth earlier. Let's talk Asia-Pacific. Sounds like that's where things really take off.
Oh, absolutely. Skyrocketing is the right word. Asia-Pacific is, well, it's already the largest market.
Right.
But the growth curve is just phenomenal. It goes from almost $1.5 billion in 2021, $1,389.72 million, to nearly $2.5 billion by 2025, $491.85 million. And then brace yourself, it's projected to hit almost $7 billion by 2033, $670.69 billion.
Wow, nearly $7 billion.
Yeah. And get this, the AGVGR is the highest globally, 13.72%. It really underscores how crucial this region is.
So it's not just big, it's growing the fastest, too.
Exactly. And it reflects how quickly industries there are adopting this tech, sometimes even leapfrogging older stages.
Right. And within APAC, China must be a huge factor.
Undeniably, the juggernaut. China moves from just over $600 million in 2021, $600.36 million, to an incredible $2.83 billion by 2033. 833.58 million. Just massive scale and acceleration.
And India often see big growth there, too.
India's growth is equally impressive, maybe even more so in percentage terms. Jumps from $259 million in 2021 to over $1.2 billion by 2033, $147.75 million. Huge potential being realized.
So China and India are the big two?
They are, but others are very significant too. By 2033, Japan is projected over $829 million, $829.51 million.
Yeah.
South Korea, over $334 million, $334.59 million. Australia, around $210 million, $210.52 million.
Okay.
And don't forget Southeast Asia and Taiwan, they're growing rapidly too. Collectively, they're looking at surpassing $700 million by 2033. It's a really dynamic picture across the whole region.
Okay, got it. Let's pivot again. How about South America? You mentioned scaling up there.
Right. South America is steadily growing, reflects that broader tech integration trend we see globally.
What kind of scale are we talking about?
It started at $181.29 million in 2021.
Okay.
And it's projected to expand quite a bit, reaching over $738 million by 2033. $738.5 million.
So it's still growing strongly. What's the driver there?
A lot of it seems tied to rising adoption of advanced auto tech. Integrating tech into transport and logistics seems key. And the main player, Brazil, yes, Brazil leads the way, is projected to reach over $336 million by 2033, $336.75 million.
Okay. Any others to highlight?
Argentina is notable, projected around $94 million, $93.79 million by 2033. And Colombia, about $60 million, $60.56 million. Yeah. And then you have countries like Peru, Chile, the rest of South America. They all contribute to a healthy regional CAGR. The emphasis really seems to be on tech integration, especially for efficiency in transport.
Okay. Moving across the globe, again, the Middle East. You noted a smaller start, but rapid expansion expected.
That's a good way to put it. The region started at $169.47 million in 2021.
Relatively small compared to others.
Yes. And the total projection for 2033 is $267.5 million. But that total number hides something important.
Oh, what's that?
The growth within individual countries there is actually really fast, extremely rapid expansion.
Okay, like where?
We'll look at the 2033 projections. Saudi Arabia, $194.13 million. Turkey, $219.14 million. UAE, $178.22 million.
So those three alone make up more than the 2033 total you just gave. Oh, wait, I see. The $267.05 must be for other ME countries, not those three listed. Ah, okay. Still, those are big numbers.
Exactly. Sorry, that was unclear. The $267.05 is likely the rest of Middle East projection, separate from the named countries which show much larger individual potential. The key point is their growth rate. Each of those, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE, is showing a KGR near or even above 14%.
Wow, so even faster than Asia Pacific's average.
In some cases, yes. It often ties into these ambitious national digitization plans and economic diversification efforts.
Right. And you mentioned the others are following suit.
Yeah, countries like Egypt, Qatar, other Gulf nations, they're not far behind. There's a real push for smart vehicle adoption across the region.
Definitely a region to watch them, given that pace.
For sure. Lots of infrastructure projects, young populations in some areas. It's an exciting space for this tech.
Okay, finally, let's round out the world tour with Africa. Gradually expanding market, you said.
Yes, gradual but consistent expansion. Africa's market is projected to grow quite significantly percentage-wise.
What are the figures?
It started at $126.11 million in 2021.
Okay.
And it's projected to reach over $546 million by 2033. $546.09 million. That's growing at a solid 12.3% CAGR.
So more than quadrupling. That's significant growth, even from a smaller base.
It is. It shows that clear trend towards modernization and tech adoption catching on across the continent.
And who's leading within Africa?
South Africa is definitely leading the charge. Projected to hit nearly $250 million by 2033, $247.38 million.
Okay.
Followed by Nigeria, which is projected over $100 million. $101.1 million.
Right.
And then the rest of Africa collectively contributes nearly $200 million, $197.62 million by that same year. Reflects growing urbanization and tech access.
Okay, so we've seen the numbers region by region, impressive growth pretty much everywhere. What what ties this all together? What are the big overarching factors fueling this everywhere?
That's the key question, isn't it? If you zoom out, it really it boils down to maybe three big interconnected drivers shaping this whole market globally.
Okay, what's the first one?
First is this massive global pivot towards digital vehicle instrumentation.
Right, getting rid of the old needles and gauges.
Exactly, but it's more than just replacing them. We're talking sophisticated displays, OLEDs, haptic feedback maybe, AI predicting what info you need, seamless cloud integration.
So the dashboard becomes much more interactive.
Totally. Dynamically changing based on preference or driving mode. Unparalleled personalization, really.
Okay, that's driver one. What's number two?
Second is the explosion of electric vehicles, the whole EV ecosystem.
Right. Okay, how does that drive dashboard tech specifically?
EVs just need a completely different information set, right? Yeah. Need constant, clear data on battery state of charge, overall health, charging status, energy flow. Range anxiety is real.
Right. Info you never needed with a gas car.
Precisely. And traditional analog dashboards just weren't built for that complexity. Programmable dashboards are basically essential to deliver all that rich data in a way that's, intuitive for the driver.
Makes sense. And the third driver?
The third one is the rise of connected car technologies. This fundamentally changes what a dashboard is.
How so?
It stops being just a display and becomes a true information hub. Think about cars talking to each other V2V or talking to infrastructure V2I.
Okay, getting real-time traffic, hazard warning.
Exactly, optimizing routes on the fly. Plus, these dashboards can get over-the-air updates, so your car gets new features, new services, long after you bought it.
So digital instruments, EVs, and connectivity, those are the big three.
Yeah. And together, they represent this really profound shift in how we even think about and interact with our vehicles and our machinery, too, in the industrial space.
So wrapping this up, what's the main thing you, our listener, should take away from all this?
Well, I think the clearest takeaway is just how big and fast-moving this market is. The global programmable dashboard market. It's genuinely reshaping user experience.
Yeah, not just in cars, but like you said, factory floors, maybe even smart appliances at home eventually.
Exactly. We're moving from these static displays to interfaces that are intelligent, adaptive, dynamic.
Right.
And, knowledge like this, it's most valuable when you connect it back to your own experience. So maybe think about how information gets delivered to you day to day.
In your car, yeah, or your thermostat, or at work.
Right. How are these changing interfaces affecting how you interact with things? Are they making life more intuitive? Or maybe sometimes a bit more complex with all the data?
That's a great point. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. As you go about your day, just notice these dashboards around you. In your next car, maybe your smart home, new tools at work. How do you see them evolving? Will they make things simpler, more personal? Or is there a risk of information overload? What stands out to you about this huge transformation in how we see our world through these, digital windows? Something to think about. Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into the programmable dashboard market. And we're not talking about those static charts you might be thinking of. Nope. These are dynamic. You can tailor them, automate things, even embed logic. They're really reshaping how industries see and act on real-time data. We've got some fascinating stuff here from Cognitive Market Research, their report, Programmable Dashboards, Market Trends, and Future Insights. So, our mission today, figure out what's behind this explosive growth, the challenges, and where it's all headed.
It really is remarkable. You see these dashboards shifting from like a nice little add-on to something absolutely core to operations and the drivers. Well, the big ones are this huge demand for seeing data now in real time and how they plug into existing BI platforms.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, how fundamentally are these tools changing how we actually make decisions?
You absolutely nailed it there. That demand for real-time visualization, that's a huge piece of the puzzle. Just think about it. Maybe a finance firm watching KPIs tick up and down every second, or a factory floor managing everything with instant feedback. Decisions based on data right now are becoming table stakes, really everywhere.
Exactly. And that urgency links right up with the big BI platforms people are already using, Tableau, Power BI, you name it. Companies don't just want dashboards they can tweak. They need them to connect and unify data from all over the place, your CRM, your ERP, supply chain data. It's about creating that one single coherent picture of what's going on. And another thing pushing this is IoT, edge computing. Think automotive, smart factories. They need dashboards showing live sensor data. Simply.
So, okay, that's the demand side. But there's also this really interesting bottom-up thing happening too, making it easier for more people to actually build these, the low-code and no-code platforms. It's not just simpler development. It empowers, say, a sales manager to quickly visualize a new pipeline, or a marketing team to test campaign results instantly. It cuts out waiting weeks for IT. It basically democratizes the whole insight process, makes everyone a data explorer.
That idea of democratization, yeah, that sounds incredibly powerful. But, even with all these drivers, it's not all smooth sailing. There are definitely some speed bumps. A big one is just how complex it is to pull data together from so many different systems. We're talking ERP, CRMs, all those IoT devices, cloud databases. It gets messy. A lot of companies find they need custom coding, middleware, just to get that unified, accurate view. And, well, that costs time and money.
Oh, I bet. And security. Data privacy concerns must be huge, right? Especially if you're handling sensitive info. Without really solid encryption and access controls, these dynamic dashboards could accidentally become weak spots. And yeah, the upfront cost, customization, development, maybe bringing in consultants, that can add up fast.
Absolutely. And there's another point, often kind of overlooked, I think, user training and just managing the change. Sometimes organizations roll out these super powerful tools, but don't really train their teams properly on how to actually use them effectively.
Yeah.
So you get underutilization, and the ROI isn't what they hope for. Great tools are only great if people know how to make the most of them,
Right. Those are significant hurdles. But looking past them, what's next? What cool innovations are coming for these dashboards?
Well, the report really highlights the rise of AI-powered dashboards, predictive ones. These aren't just showing what happened. They're using machine learning to offer, forward-looking insights. Imagine a dashboard showing current sales, sure, but also flagging a potential dip next quarter and suggesting ways to fix it.
Wow, okay, that is a game changer. And it makes sense with integrating things like natural language processing too, voice interfaces maybe. Just being able to ask your dashboard a question, get an insight back conversationally that really closes the gap between us and the data.
Precisely. And think about mobile workforces getting bigger. Mobile-optimized dashboards are becoming critical for anyone needing that real-time access away from their desk. Field sales, checking inventory, execs, monitoring global stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. And for the more technical folks, open source platforms are gaining ground too, right? Grafana, Metabase.
Grafana, yeah. They offer deep customization, lots of control, especially popular in engineering, DevOps.
It all points towards, well, more intelligent, more accessible, and deeply integrated ways of seeing our data. So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway for you listening? The programmable dashboard market. It's clearly becoming a really strategic piece of digital transformation. From getting your KPIs instantly to seeing predictive analytics, these dashboards are pretty essential for navigating the world today, which is just drenched in data.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, maybe something for you to think about. As these AI features and conversational interfaces become standard, how might that fundamentally change not just how we look at data, but our actual relationship with decision-making? Will we become more proactive, more intuitive, or maybe even a bit dependent on these digital co-pilots? Something to ponder as you look at your own data.